Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so, Cancer, we have tonight the Emperor. So, I suspect you're in a very powerful position within your life at this very moment as you are watching this, coming into it fully taking charge, right? All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and turn this cup around and see what are these tea leaves going to say. And so immediately I'm seeing we have, it looks like a kind of like a skeleton or something. We have the head right here. You can see the eyes. You can kind of see the lower part of the head. You can see the hand or arm with this large hand. You can see an arm right here. Here is the spine down into the pelvic and the legs. All right. So kind of something a little spooky. Now we're getting close to Halloween, aren't we? All Hallows Eve, All Saints Day. And what are the other ones? What is it called? What is it? I always forget what the kind of, what is it? The pagan, let's see. What is it? No, I was thinking, Samhain. Maybe you say it differently. I don't know how to say it. Samhain? I was thinking, is it Samsara? No, that's the wrong thing. That's not the same thing. All right, so you can tell I've had a long day already. And so, yeah, kind of getting into that thin part of the year, right? Where there is kind of there's a point where really, I don't know, is it the veil has become lifted, or our pathways into the borderlands, they have become a little more open, visible, so that we may kind of perceive these different kinds of phenomena. And maybe it is that we just get into this kind of place in our mind where, everybody's kind of in this collective place in their head. And so then, we start seeing, we start feeling, we start experiencing things that maybe different parts of the year seem quite far away, okay? Now, it looks to me, we have this crab, like a crab right here. It looks like it's standing kind of above everybody else, holding two people. You can see here's the body of the crab. Here are the arms coming up. And then we have one person over here who is pointing over here at this other person. And this person's kind of has their hand out and they're pointing this direction. Like, hey, don't look at me. Look over there, right? You got the wrong person here. So let's come back to that. I kind of want to just keep going here. And then we're going to talk about the skeleton. We're going to talk about the crab. We're going to talk about what's going on here. Why is the skeleton kind of showing up? And I believe that it's almost like a haunting in your life, right? Now, if you're in the northern hemisphere, we're going into fall pretty quick here. It's getting into that autumn season, although you wouldn't really know it, aside from some of the trees are starting to change a little bit, right? It's pretty warm outside. Today it was like 90 degrees here, very humid. Felt like summer. Did not have even the little dash of like pumpkin spice or anything like that in the air. It was hanging on, like, we're not ready for all that yet. But now, if you are in the southern hemisphere, it's probably like, I imagine full-blown spring. Maybe in some places, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I do feel like, yeah, there's something about the beginning of things growing that, yes, there is an excitement, so much potential, so many things to look forward to. How are my gardens going to do? What is this all going to, bring to my home, to my family? There's this feeling of, yeah, we could, do really well. Maybe this will be our year, and at the same time, and I don't know if you're like me, I can't help but kind of meditate on what did it take to get us here to the place where, yeah, the ground is ready. It has been fertilized by things that have long passed, right? It's deteriorated, pieces of plant matter and wood and maybe food if you're out there composting, right? Whatever it is, we know that it takes a lot to begin something new, to get into that birthplace. So hand in hand, death and birth, it is part of the cycle. And I can't help but think about this in these kind of transitional parts of our year, right? Where things are becoming and things are descending and vice versa. So I'm looking at this and I feel like it's the season for change, but I also feel like there's somebody kind of hanging on, right? And now in this pelvic area, I almost kind of see an anchor. And so I wonder if this is somebody that you've had a pretty involved relationship with. You maybe even have children with this person. But I feel that there has been a really deep connection at some point, but you're over it. Like you don't even really think or consider this person that often. But it's like every so often they come kind of knocking at the door, right? Texting you, checking up on you, maybe adding your social medias, whatever it is. And so I feel like, you're just not open to this. You're not open to this connection. It's old. It's an old, ancient thing. Let things lie. That's kind of like, how I imagine this is for you. But even more than that, I think it's kind of just an annoyance. It's like, here we go again. Now I have to deal with this thing again, with this person again, with this whole, like, I have to kind of reject them gently because obviously they're not getting the point, right? And you would think, yeah, maybe somebody who is more rational would get like, this person doesn't want me anymore. This person doesn't want to have a life with me anymore. They've asked me or they've, made things kind of configured in such a way that we don't see each other. We don't talk, right? They've cut you off. And yet they just won't stop coming back around. And now this could be that, they just, since you broke up, they've been lingering, or it could have been years and years ago. And it's just part of this weird cycle that they're always in where, every few, 6 months, every 2 years or whatever it is, they start kind of showing up, right? And you're like, oh, okay, here we go again. And now I got to deal with this again. And I feel like it's just something that, more than anything, kind of annoying. At the worst, though, is if you have a relationship already. Maybe you're completely devoted to a whole new life. You could even have like a family, right? You're married, you have kids, you have grandkids, whatever. And it is still this thing. And it's almost kind of sad, right? Because it's like, how have you not moved on at this point? You know? And you almost kind of feel like I have care for them, because it's like you're stuck in something that's so old. I don't even remember who I was when I was with you. You know what I mean? And so I feel that there is compassion, but there's also still, you know, we've all had this kind of thing where somebody from the past wants to like show up and make amends, or they want to mend things, and maybe even want to explore a relationship again. And you're just like, what are you thinking? What planet are you on? Like, that's not going to happen, you know? And especially if you've already been through it with them and you're like, okay, we've been here, not happening. I just don't want to deal with this. Yeah. And so, over here, I skipped over seeing this boat here. Okay. So we have this like large boat right here, you can see. And so when I see the boat, I know that this is going to be like a big change, right? This is movement. And this is something that's happening in spirit, in psyche, emotionally. The boat floats in the sacred waters. And I like to think of the sacred waters as kind of that source of most things that happen within our minds, within our creativity. Our unconscious is what it really is. It is that vast ocean of abstracts and symbols and fragments of ideas, and you know, the place that you go fishing to kind of, you know, create something, to build something up, to get some kind of inspiration. And so then when we have the boat, I know it's kind of like, yeah, maybe you're doing some self-work. Maybe you are deciding that you're going to rearrange your life in some way so that you can create a new channel of these waters kind of flowing through your life in a very active way. So I do see that you have been focused on strengthening self, fortification, and and some healing. I really feel that there maybe has been some kind of situation where you kind of had to look at yourself and think, I don't really want to live this way anymore. You know, these old coping mechanisms, maybe some of my behaviors, some of my ideas about the world, how I feel about things, they don't make sense in my life anymore, you know. And I want something different. And so you begin to do some kind of work, processing, individuation, exploration of self, of your histories, and maybe even deeper than that, you know, communing with your ancestors and, spiritual alchemy, whatever it is, whatever it looks like for you. Now, as these changes are occurring, right, that makes sense to me that somebody from the past would show up, because it kind of is like, okay, you're working through kind of the fallout of an old ordeal. You're working through some of the things that you kind of developed to deal with these situations. And maybe you're changing your coping mechanisms, your go-to default reactions. And it's like, I don't know, the dust of it all kind of gets in the air, and it's like these old things, these people from your past, they are attracted to it, right? All of a sudden, it's like I think of like a zombie. They hear something, they stop and they turn and they start running towards it, and I think it's all part of the work, ultimately. right? Now, we have the crab. Obviously, we know. We're talking to Cancer here. The crab is your, at least, zodiacal totem, right? And so, holding up these two people, and I feel you really kind of going to that place with this person. And I don't mean that it's going to be some huge conflict or it's going to get real ugly or anything, but I think it's kind of like you finally are putting your foot down, and I can see you pointing, go, right? And this over here to the right, instead of the left of the cup, this person up here is pointing for this person to go that way. Go, move on. Into the future. Look at your future. Figure it out. Do something. Because this is not it anymore. You know? And I'm tired of, trying to baby you. I'm tired of being worried that if I'm not, either ignore it or disengage or just allow you to behave the way that you're going to. If I don't allow it, then you're going to go off the deep end. And I really feel like that's kind of the energy. Worried. This person might totally freak out on me. This person might do something that, I don't want them to do. I don't want them to harm my life or the people who are in my life. I don't want them to come in here like a berserker and just absolutely, destroy things. And, I think that you have to learn in this situation anyways, how to kind of be in that balance where you can say, listen, this is not happening. I care about you. I hope that you do well. We knew each other once. You're a human being. I have compassion for you and I wish you the best. But it's not here, dude. Not happening. And I can't really change anything about that. So please go. For the last time, just go. And that's the energy. And it's difficult. It's very, especially, and I'm not saying it's not hard for men, but I am not a man and I have not lived life as a man. So I don't really know how it feels for you all, but I know what it feels like as a woman, especially when you're younger, as a girl, right? A girl, a young adult, it can be very frightening to have somebody pursue you continually, especially if you have been in any kind of relationship with them and you break up and maybe it's on good terms, maybe it's not, maybe it's very volatile, but if this person keeps coming around and keeps showing up, that can be really, it's upsetting. It's upsetting. And so if this is the case, if this is what you are going through or what you have been through or what you will go through, just be careful. 100%. If you identify, as a woman, as a man, anything else on the spectrum, there are so many different things. I'm not going to mention them all, but, of course, all are welcome here. All are welcome here. And I don't know. I live in an existence where gender means so very little. We're talking about goddesses and gods and their fractal existences in this household constantly. It just everything kind of blurs together in a lot of ways, right? So yeah, I don't even like to go down these kind of rabbit holes of conversation. But whatever it is, whoever you identify as or with, or or they do, just be careful. You just don't know. You don't know what people are what they can do, what they are capable of, right? And it's not just because I watch so much Dateline and, you know, first 48 hours or whatever. And a lot of YouTube. That's the big, yeah, a lot of YouTube stuff. What is that channel called? Like is it Law and Order or Order and Law? I don't know. But I watch that one too much. I'm like, I'm not doing it today. I'm not watching one true crime thing. I'm going to be good today. And then I'm like going through YouTube. I'm like, wow, look. That one looks really interesting though. What if I just watch part of it? So yeah. And the other thing is being careful, letting people know. Let your support people know. Call your parents. You know, tell especially if you have a spouse or a significant other, let them know what's going on. Let your friends know. Let your therapist know. Let everybody know. And if you have to, you know, file a report, document everything, protect yourself, okay? Nobody can save you, you know, and that's the truth about this world. Nobody can save you, so we must do our due diligence to take care of ourselves. So make sure you are doing all those things, and I hate that we have to even talk about that, but, you know, that's where we're at. But I'm looking at this, and you know what? I feel very much like there is kind of this moment where you're heard, finally, right? You're heard, and maybe it is that they will just kind of, you know, get on with their lives. Maybe they'll disappear a little bit, you know, take off, go out into the great unknown, go and start a new existence, a new life, a new, you know, not bothering you, basically. So we're going to, pull 3 cards. And I'm just going to use these as clarifying cards. I kind of want to see maybe like what this next little period of time is going to look like. I don't want to be talking about this person the whole time. I know it's not the most appealing topic. So I'm going to flip through. These are the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. We have Power, Authority. Okay, we're really in that space, aren't we? Power, Authority. This one keeps coming up. Idealism. I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? Because I've had this in like a few readings lately. The universe is like, Lenor, you are too dreamy. You're too much of a dreamer. And stop being so, such a romantic about everything. So we have the numbers 8, 10, and 11. Power, Authority, Idealism. Well, it doesn't surprise me. We have the Emperor, right? So we do have that power and authority very much present. And I feel like it really is kind of a situation where most of the time you would be very realistic about people and their motives and their, just kind of not like you're asocial or antisocial, not that, but I think that you are somebody who, you're not going to look for, that little bit of goodness in every person. You see something and you think, that's wild. I don't really want to be involved with that. I don't like that. God bless them, but no, right? But then there is this, I think there's just like a few people in your life where you are just super blinded by, you're blinded by this kind of ultra, rose-colored glasses. I mean, really, and I think a lot of times we have this kind of about our kids, right? Or even like sometimes our parents, especially like our mothers, you know, although that can be totally the opposite as well. But I do feel like with this particular situation, it's kind of like, it's all just, I don't know what's gone on in your life, but I think it's been good stuff. And I feel like you've built yourself up. You're feeling confident. You feel like you're playing a lead role in your existence. You're not just living in somebody else's life. And so when these kinds of energies come back around, you're not enchanted any longer. You're not stuck in this like, oh, everything is, you know, it's all good. You know, they might cause a lot of problems, but they're worth it. They're wonderful. I love them. I need them. None of that exists in this situation. Not at all. And I wonder if maybe, yeah, you went on to get married or had a different relationship and you kind of realized like, yeah, it's possible to kind of live a different way. It's possible to be connected with somebody who actually respects me and listens, you know, to me and works with me, and we have like common goals, and we're, you know, working together to make things happen. And, you know, I have a partner, I have a beloved, and that other stuff, no, it's just difficult. It's just difficult. And so I do. I think that whole kind of illusion or delusion, right, has slipped away. It's dissipated. And I think this is a big part of why you are able to use your power and authority and remind yourself who the heck you are, right? I'm not putting up with this anymore. I have no time. Zero. Absolutely negative points of time. Like nothing to give to you any longer. Get out of here. You know? And yeah. So not a bad place to be in, but it's also something where you have to be mindful of how we treat other people, how we talk to other people, and especially how other people can really just surprise you with the way that they react to things, you know, especially if it's poorly. Now, I also see OM. So I feel like this is a really good time for you to, now this maybe is not your mantra, but a good time to be maybe getting back into your spiritual practices, your meditative practices. Maybe you do postures, or maybe you're somebody who does use like mantras or active imagination or dream, you know, work or whatever. And maybe you have slipped a little bit in your discipline. And so I'm looking and I immediately think, yeah, maybe it's the door opening for you to get back to those practices and to put yourself in more of a routine that complements your spiritual goals and the work that you want to do. Okay. Now, I want to take a look over here. We have a little tree. It reminds me very much of an olive tree. We have the letter D, a uppercase D, and I wonder if there's a name that starts with a D that seems important. We also have 2 7s. So I feel like there's also a good amount of luck kind of flowing your way. And I can see you really taking advantage of that, not letting it just pass you by. I feel like it's like you've gotten to this place in your life where maybe you're starting to realize, like, I'm not going to live forever, right? Time is kind of speeding up. Things are going by much more quickly than they used to feel like they were going by. And now I really have to kind of buckle down and do the things that I've been wanting to do. I have to really kind of focus on Not just accomplishing or like, producing anything, but it really is about like, I want to make the most of my life. I don't want to just like sit here and let the days fall away. I don't want to like squander this fortune, this blessing that my existence has been, even if it has been hard, really hard at times. And so I see you really kind of getting in that place where you're getting pretty serious about doing something, and getting it done, right? Starting a business, maybe like getting married, having a family, getting involved with the grandkids, moving somewhere that you've always wanted to live, like going and renting an apartment near the beach or, whatever it is. I can feel that there's really this kind of, it's like something clicked, and now I'm going to really get on my grind, right? I'm going to be working towards what it is that I really want in life, okay? And that's a wonderful thing. That absolutely is. Okay, we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and we're going to look at our gratitude affirmation cards. These are from Purple Canyon, and I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And it says, astral web. Of course, we have the spider tonight. Oh, it is almost the new moon. And I'm absolutely feeling, the new moon's the one that gets me. The full moon definitely affects me, but the new moon is the one that I'm just like a little bit unhinged. Let me be honest with you. I feel a little bit unhinged. And the spider energy is strong. I had a spider jump on me earlier today, actually. I was hanging I was putting up a trail cam. And I was like, next to the tree, and I was getting it all like buckled up on there. And this little spider just jumped right at me. I was like, whoa, buddy. I won't hurt you, but don't do that. All right. So it says, I am held safely in a beautiful astral web of relationships. I am grateful for hundreds of people who serve my needs, from producing the food I eat to making the clothing I wear. I give thanks for every hidden strand in the web of my life. Practice. Give thanks to 3+ acquaintances or strangers in your community who serve you, even if you have never met them. Even if you have never met them. I love this one. I worked in service, food service, in restaurants, and mostly waiting tables. And I constantly think about all the people it takes to just run, a business, a restaurant, whatever it is, whatever you need done, and that's why I'm so big on being kind to people. I don't care if they ruined your whole thing, if they are being rude to you as well, you know what I mean? Like, it is hard out here. It is hard out here to be in service. It is hard to be somebody who works with the public all day, every day. And, that's not a good reason for them to be rude, of course, but my goodness, it's not easy. It's a wonderful practice to kind of think about, these people, we work together as a community, as a collective to keep this all going. And it's such a fragile system. It truly is. So thank you to everybody who is, out there doing all kinds of different work, you know. It just, well, we understand, all of us do, what things are like even just a few years ago, right? When everything just stopped. Do you remember what it was like when you're like, where's my toilet paper going to come from? Will I be able to even find any? You know, and now we think, oh, that's kind of silly. We could figure it out. You know, I'm going to get real resourceful. But at that time, it was like we're all just living our lives and trying to get through our days and, you know, make a little money and support ourselves. And then this, you know, and then it all came to a halt. And, you know, I think at that point, a lot of people who maybe hadn't thought too much about where things come from, you know, who gets them here, what is the cost ultimately, right? We became a lot more aware of that. And so I think it is. I think it's important to continue to kind of renew this thinking in our head before we forget. All right. So Cancer, I love you. Of course I do. You know that. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. Absolutely. Especially if you're new to the channel. Shout it out in the comment section. Also, I want to thank everybody who said happy birthday. Yes, it was very special, and all of the well wishes. Yeah, it made it so nice. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Take care of yourself. We will talk again real soon. Good night.